Hey, my love. This is Lady Keturah, and you know what time it is. It is story time with Keturah. Story time with Keturah. Yes, and tea, of course. But this is a book called Marriage Boot Camp. We left off about communication, so I hope book is helping, you know, you marriage couples just get better in your marriage, and even people like me who is preparing for marriage. Hopefully this book is helping you, because I feel like it's helping me mentally and everything. All right, so let me sip my tea real quick. My peppermint tea is really good for when you have like headaches and nausea. Very good. And this is how my tea bags look. They're clear so you can see the herb. But before we get started, I have my Love Herbs tea. It's my black tea seafood seasoning. And I have more than just one. So you have to go on my website. Don't just look. Make sure you buy something. Support me now. I love you. And I have my mental health boost tea. So this one, the black tea seafood seasoning, in one of my videos I showed you how you will make your seafood, how you will flavor your seafood with my black tea seafood seasoning. This one is extra spicy. It's very good though, and you don't have to use the whole bag if you don't want it to be too spicy. You can use half of the bag for the first boil, or if you're making some sauce, and then use the second one the next time. And then this is very good. My mental health boost tea is very good for if you're going through anxiety problems, depression. You just need, your tension under your body to be relaxed and gone. This is very, very good. Remember, natural medicine, which is these herbs that I have, is the new vibe, okay? All right, so let's get started. All right, marriage boot camp. I thought I had put my little cute bookmark, but I guess I didn't. All right, so let's start at Love Dots. This game is based on the book The 5 Love Languages: How to Express Heartfelt Commitment to Your Mate by Gary Chapman. This book possesses, I guess, y'all. Sorry. Yes, Posits. Some words I'd be like, what? How do you pronounce it? I'm not ashamed to say it either. Because that's how we learn. If we don't say nothing, then how we going to learn? If we don't pronounce it, try to, sound it out, how we going to learn? We learned that when we was younger, right? Sound it out. All right. So there are 5 different love languages, and that each of us feels most love when our mate is speaking our particular love language. One thing we have learned in the marriage boot camp, we all love all of the different love languages. I feel like it's more than just 5 love languages. Like, praying is one of my love languages, and I know that's going to be one of my main ones in the marriage. We love to be loved in general, but there will usually be one particular expression, of love that speaks to us most deeply. One of the biggest causes of dissatisfaction in relationships is giving love in the way we would want to receive it, as opposed to in the way our partner wants to receive it. This doesn't fill each other's love tank. We're going to use this little stick-on dots to represent each of the 5 love languages. This illustrates the principle very clearly, especially if you are a visual learner. Go get yourself a package of blue, brown, green, yellow, and red dots. Those dots. Often available as yard sale price tag stickers at a grocery store or the office supply store, or I think Dollar Tree probably have those too. It's okay to switch up the colors for what's available. Words of affirmation. This is the blue dot. Someone who is blue is in need of a little encouragement. This love language typically expresses itself when spoken praise and appreciation. Recognition is important in this language, as is feeling that you have been observed and accurately described. So did she say where to put these dots at? Okay. Let's see. Acts of service is the next love language. This is a brown dot. Brown represents wood, which is used to build things. If you are a brown dot, nothing will thrill you more than having someone build or creating something for you. You heard it said that actions speak louder than words. This love language comes with a servant's heart. If you're an acts of service kind of person, you feel love when someone does things that lighten your load. Receiving gifts. This is the green dot. Our green dot says show me the money. While gifts can be big or small, for this love language, it's the thought that counts. If this is your love language, you love the idea that someone is thinking of you and puts that thought into action with a gift. Quality time. This is the yellow dot. Yellow represents the sun coming up. This love language longs for your undivided attention. Whether you are watching TV together or taking an exotic vacation, it is time spent as a couple that feeds the soul of this lover. Physical touch. This is the red dot. Red represents passion. Physical touch runs from hand holding to sex in a marriage. With this love language, you just need to reach out and touch your mate. These descriptions should make it clear which dot represents your love language, which speaks most deeply and uniquely to your heart. It is often that one that we ourselves give most freely. Many people who come to marriage boot camp have an aha moment and hear and realize that they're not using the same love language as their mates. Take your love dot sticker. Oh, okay, now she's telling us what to do with the love dot sticker. And put it somewhere where you will see it often, such as the refrigerator or on your mirror. And this will remind you that you have unique needs that you want fulfilled in specific ways. Similarly, I think I'm saying it right. Look. Okay. The key to loving your mate is learning to speak his or her love language. And to do that, you need to know the detailed, that specific way that his or her love language gets fulfilled. Without a complete description, it is almost impossible to get this right. The love dot game. Take each of the 5 love languages and write out a short description of what it would look like to receive love in those ways. For example, I might say for words of affirmation that I love when my husband notices when my hair looks great. For acts of service, nothing thrills my heart like hearing the vacuum cleaner running and knowing that someone is doing this chore. In terms of receiving gifts, I love things for my house, for quality time. I love nothing more than sitting and discussing a really interesting book. What? She said, I love nothing more. I love Jesus more. For physical touch, I'm not much of a hugger. I am, but I really love sex with my husband. So this is the love dot game. Playing the game with your mate. This is a wonderful opportunity to engage your mate. We use the interview technique where you simply ask your mate to tell you something about themselves. And as we said something earlier, everyone loves it when you show interest in them in this way. You will first tee up the subject and describe the concept of the love language. That each of us has a unique way of wanting to be loved. And you'll go through and describe each of the 5 love languages. All right, so finally, you will ask your partner to describe what it would look like to them to have each of these love languages fulfilled. Marriage Bootcamp Quick Script. To make engaging your mate even easier, here is a quick script as a suggestion of how to get your partner involved. I'm reading this book and came across an interesting concept called love languages. It says that each of us feels most love in one of 5 different ways. The 5 love languages are words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, and physical touch. So if you feel like something ain't right about this book, what I'm reading, then challenge your knowledge. Ask God to help you get understanding so you won't just be going by everything that she's saying in this book. Yeah. Okay. The book had me write down specifically what it would look like to me to get these 5 languages spoken. What does it look like to you to have these 5 different love languages spoken? Words of affirmation, blue dot. Give an example of what words of affirmation look like to you. So this is how you get your partner involved. Acts of service, brown dot. Give an example of what acts of service look like to you. Receiving gifts, green dot. Give an example of what receiving gifts look like to you. Quality time, yellow dot. Give an example of what quality time looks like to you. Physical touch, red dot. Give an example of what physical touch looks like to you. Discuss each of the love dots and ask your mate which one thrills their heart and the most and share the same about your own unique love dot. After this discussion, it should be clear which dot represent each of your love language, which speaks most deeply and uniquely to each of your hearts. Once you're determined which dot represents you and your mate best, stick the color dot on the front of your shirt to have a visual reminder for the rest of the exercise. After this exercise, we recommend that you put your love dot sticker somewhere you would see it often. On the refrigerator or on your vanity mirror, to remind you and your mate that you each have unique needs that must be fulfilled in specific ways. We're now going to have you take a deeper dive into your unique love language in an interactive exercise. Take turns and discuss each of the following discussion points. Tell your mate what your love language is and give an example of what your love language look like. Tell your mate how you would feel if you had your love language fulfilled on a regular basis. Tell your mate what you just learned about him or her. For Kathy and Gary, this was a groundbreaking exercise. Each of them came to realization that one of the reasons they were, this is a long chapter, so frustrated with each other is that they were putting in a lot of hard work and not getting the response that they wanted. They were giving love the way they like to receive love. You see, Gary is a green dot. He feels love when he's getting something nice, like a green membership. Kathy, on the other hand, is a yellow dot. And she wanted Gary to spend time with her, to sit and listen to her as she downloaded all the details of her day. Gary and Kathy were not only feeling empty, but they were feeling unloved. Gary brought nice things for Kathy, and he brought nice things for himself. This was the way he felt love. He was rewarding his wife the same way he rewards himself. Gary felt frustrated by Kathy when she did not appreciate the things he brought for her and complained about him spending money on himself. Kathy felt rejected and couldn't understand why Gary would want to spend time away from home when she wanted to give him her love in a quality time kind of way. Now that they understood each other better, we can continue unraveling the conflict they found in themselves. One last thought. Keep in mind that our mates feed us when they speak our love language. When they neglect or reject our love language, it feels like they are saying, I don't love you. I'm not going to feel that way. Now that you understand this, you can adjust your beliefs in your ABCs. So remember, if you're just now getting onto this and this video and you don't know what ABCs is in the marriage bootcamp book, A is for action, B is for belief, and C is for consequence.